I wanted to take a minute today at the beginning of the podcast and say thank you to our sponsor, Huber Engineered Woods. Huber has actually been a sponsor of the podcast since 2020 when we decided to start this little endeavor. Without our sponsors, this content is probably not something that happens. But I think the best part about having Huber as a partner on this is it's an incredibly authentic alignment. Peter, Steve, and I all use Huber Woods. I've been using Advantech Subfloor for coming on probably 21 years now. I've been using Zip System and Zip System with the insulation on the back, the Zip R, since 2013. It's a system that I believe in. That systems approach where things play well together. They have design parameters that allow you to use their system for what you're working on. It works. Their tech support's there. Their knowledge is there. I've never had an issue with their product, and it's a great thing that they've decided to sponsor the podcast. So thank you, Huber Engineered Woods.
All right.
Holy
Unbuilded
smokes.
podcast.
Way too loud.
You know what we're talking about today?
Extreme something.
Extreme events. Whew. Yes, that's why I had to open it up with a little bit of excitement.
I'm already
See, you're already on the edge of your seat. I'm glad you're here to join us because, yeah, extreme events. I mean, what we're really going to be talking about here is if you built a safe room and let's say a tornado or something was coming, who in your family would you exclude from the safe room? Right? I think it's a serious talk that you need to really have up front. Who isn't allowed in?
Or if the unbuilded crew, there was space for two, would you guys chuck me out first?
No. Okay. I might elect not to go in.
I love it.
Death might be the better
than being if I have trapped. Life with the two of you.
Life with the two of you, death.
Or the potential of being trapped in a room.
An honorable death.
Okay.
Wow.
It's good to know.
So
I had no idea this is where the podcast was going to go.
Yeah, me neither.
You're tricky. You're a tricky guy.
Listen, I knew what I was going to say. Yeah, extreme events. So I'm not going to say, I'm trying to figure out how to put myself in a kind of a middle position here, right? Because there's certainly those that believe, okay, we've had some really crazy weather now. We're really screwing up the environment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's those that look at those people and say, y'all are nut cases, right? That's not crazy. So for me personally, I will admit, I don't know. I mean, for one, I'm not a scientist, right? So I don't know. The other thing that I do know, though, is we've inhabited in the amount of time or existence, we're like a second in the day, right? It's probably even less than that.
In terms of Earth.
Of Earth.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So how do we know? Like, we don't know what the weather was 5,000 years ago in North America, right? Did we have, a period where the tides were changing and not literally, but we've had weather patterns where, for 50 years, the Earth or the North America got more tornadoes than it did the previous 50 years, or more hurricanes, or whatever the case is. I don't know. And I'm not saying that all those people are crazy, and I'm not saying that I don't agree. I'm just saying I don't know where to stand on this.
But you do know that you get a number of clients that are concerned about extreme events and want to factor that into their building.
I do. And I do know that growing up in the 70s, we got a lot more snow than we get now. Right? I mean,
when you say we, you mean folks in Western Massachusetts.
The town that I grew up in, Western Mass, right? Big shout out to Adams, is we would get snow by like the first week of October. That would cover the ground, not a snow flurry. Like, we would get snow.
Yeah.
And it would be there until probably like the end of March, where we wouldn't see the grass again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, you might get a snowstorm. It might stay a week, but then it melts away. So there's definitely a change. The question is, what is the proponent of that change? What's propelling
So
change.
regardless of whether we get more or less extreme events, we do get them. And when we're talking about extreme events, do we have like hail, tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, wildfire, all of those, right? Earthquakes, that's an extreme event, right?
Yeah. And, the other thing that I literally just thought of, like as a kid growing up in Western Mass, like if there was a tornado down in Arkansas, like the news might have just, hey, there was a tornado tonight down in Arkansas. Hopefully everybody's okay. And then they go on to more news. Mm-hmm. Now it's like if you're in Boston and there's a tornado in Arkansas, that consumes like 30 hours of the news.
Yeah, it's true.
And so is that part of it? Just the fact that
awareness,
the awareness spectrum has increased tenfold.
And I know you've probably heard me say this before, but the insurance industry has a really big investment in terms of better understanding the nature of these events because they're getting more and more costly to deal with.
Okay. So I'm going to throw a curveball at that one because if the insurance companies and banks believe in it, why are they still building condos on the shores of Florida, Miami? Why are they doing all this?
Well, they're not building them, they're insuring them.
Well, yes, but if the insurance company really believed this was a bad idea, why would you insure a loss?
Well, I think
statistics on their part.
I mean,
but my point is, so that's my point, right? Is they have to make the choice, but are statistics really not as bad as some people are saying?
I think what they're doing is getting pressure from their actuaries, who are the folks that do the statistical analysis, saying, hey, you better figure out how to pay out less because we're paying out more. And one way to pay out less is to encourage better response to these events.
Yes.
So,
well.
Okay, real quick while we're on insurance, I brought it up just to verify the year, 1880. Southern Missouri Marshfield had a, some people call it a cyclone, but some people call it a tornado, a windstorm that killed like 100 people. And it went all the way to the state Supreme Court in front of an insurance company that a guy who taught at the University of St. Louis argued in court that tornadoes are lightning and won at the state Supreme Court level.
Tornadoes are lightning?
Because we didn't understand whether or not how tornadoes worked and how lightning worked. And tornadoes are not covered in the insurance policy of the homeowner. So even in 1880, the insurance company was still
knew how to handle
was still the problem. I just thought of it offhand. Sorry.
Wow, that's super interesting.
So I guess
total aside. Sorry.
No,
that's how my brain. That's how my brain works.
But I guess my point is, I don't want anybody out there to listen or saying, "Oh my God, Steve doesn't believe in this." That's not my point. Yeah. My point is, this is a system that's a galaxy unto itself. And we have no concept of, you can sit there and say, yes, there's global warming. Yes, there's this. You don't know. You don't know.
So we have to just plan for the things that we do know, that there are tornadoes, that there are earthquakes, that there are high winds or hail or things like that.
We do
and all of it's a balance of risk. Well, yeah, you might not get hit by a tornado, so you don't have to spend that money if you don't want to.
But you probably don't want to be the person running down the street looking for shelter. In a tornado. So
the question is, if this is something that comes up not regularly, but in your business, how do you respond to that?
Well, for me, it's simply by satisfying the client's story, right? Hey, Steve, we need it. And we have a pretty wide spectrum. Right. I mean, we just did a house in South Dakota. It's got a room. It's probably 8 by 8. It's all concrete. And, clients are using them for storm shelters, but they're also using it for other things. Right. They put firearms and stuff in there. A lot of people will use it as a safeguard to important papers or important things to the family because that concrete room isn't going to burn. right? With the door on it. So you can put stuff in there that if the house burnt down or if you were in a WUI zone, right?
Sorry, you've used that term before. What is a WUI zone?
Wildfire urban
that's okay.
interface.
Sorry. I knew that
WUI,
name.
WUI, Wildfire Urban Interface. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Right.
Thanks.
So you might want to build something for in a WUI zone that you put a room in. You put all your important papers, money, jewelry, important pictures for the family, whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their story. Goldfish. And if a fire comes through, then okay, you just excavate that and go in and get your stuff later.
And you said that this was 8x8.
Well, this one was 8x8.
Because that seems kind of small for people and stuff you'd need in a disaster and storage.
You didn't let me finish my story.
I'm going to, though.
Thank you.
Maybe they only can fill 8 inches, 8 inches of space.
But their storm is a little different and their story is a little different. We just want a place to run, be safe for short term. I have another one where we're down in Alabama, and their story is such that, we get the alarm, and then like sometimes you're in that room for a while, and it's like, so we made it the size of a bedroom so they could put a bed in there.
12 by 12? Or?
Yeah, it's probably on that order.
Yeah.
And they're going to use it as an office, with no windows or whatever kind of space. But it's going to be a fully reinforced FEMA, and I think it was FEMA details. Like there's details you can go get to build this thing. It's all out of concrete block that's fully grouted, reinforced. We had our structural engineer go through it, concrete lid, everything, blast door. And then we also have a project somewhere in the country where we are doing, it's probably a 1,200 square foot like shelter. You could go down there and live.
Did you say somewhere in the country because the clients are paranoid enough they would not want you to even acknowledge?
Well, they're just out of respect for them. I'm going to not say where it is. But
see, I was smart enough to know that I didn't have to do what you did, which was make everybody aware of why he did that.
Yeah. So
sure.
But that's literally like I would call it a full out bunker. Like it has a bedroom for 4, a full bathroom, kitchen. But the thing that's weird to me about that is like you still have your electrical services. Like it has to, at some point it has to go outside.
Right.
So yes, you're in there, and I mean, they're really cool clients because we had the conversation. I said, listen, I respect what you're doing, but if it were me, I'd rather catch the bomb in my lap than bury myself in the ground. And
that's the bomb.
And he laughed. But there are a lot of people that are just like, when we talked about in one of the other podcasts about chemical sensitivities, there's people that are very sensitive to like sheltering their family from very short term to like extremely long term. Let me go live underground for a couple of years if I have to.
And we have to remember it's not our house.
And it's not our house. It's like, listen, if that's what you want.
And it's hard sometimes, even I've been through some things like this with project managers. It's hard sometimes for project managers or for our team to decipher the difference between I need a storm shelter and I need a window that looks at the pond. Yeah. It's just the client asking for what they want, and we're in the customer service business, like it or not, because we don't just build spec homes, we build custom homes, and so we do things to make our clients happy. So even if it's something that we might not do at our own home.
But you did do it in your own home, and he designed the home.
Correct.
And you do have a safe room.
I did. Yeah.
So are you willing to tell us a little bit about that? So first of all,
our market is a tornado threat market, not high tornado threat, but we do get strong winds.
Are you in the alley? No.
I think we're adjacent.
Okay.
We're close. I think there are probably people that live in my hometown that think we're in what people would deem tornado alley, but it's actually, if you look at weather maps, we're adjacent.
Yeah. Okay.
But it doesn't mean we're in a zero risk or anything like that. And so when Steve and I work together, we get nonstop. Well, we really would prefer to not have a house without a basement. And that's the way it's almost always said. And you can go, well, but you only need 1,100 square feet. Why do you also need a basement? Like we just designed a house that has everything on the main floor that you need, and you're talking about aging in place. Why do you need a downstairs now too? Well, we need a place to go if there's a tornado. So you need another 1,100 square feet. in case there's a tornado, or do you need a storm shelter? Because I think you just asked for a storm shelter, but you called it a basement.
So why do you not have a basement? Why do you have?
I don't have a basement because I bought my lot from someone who tore their house down because their house was 18 inches too low and it was on a basement. The city was like, no, you cannot rebuild on that foundation because it's in a floodplain. And so I raised my lot by 56 inches or something like that with engineered fill to then build a slab because I knew that I don't need to live below grade. Because I'm not a mole person, and I don't think that most basements...
A mole person.
I don't think that most below-grade spaces are comfortable.
Is this a Marvel character? Or?
I don't think most below-grade spaces are as comfortable as above-grade spaces, is what I should have said. Or, for instance, every time I call you and you go, I'm in the basement, hold on. That's the way every phone call with Peter starts.
What you don't understand is, I just tell you that. I'm not really in the basement.
That's just make you think he's working. Yeah. This isn't going to be a long phone call. I'm in the basement.
So then our options are above grade storm shelters for lots of clients when we're not talking about doing a basement. And there are kind of two types, although I think one of your Pete's resources, Simpson actually has details on their website for building
Simpson Strong Tie?
Wood framed, and I think they call it a Category 5 storm shelter. It's basically just throw as many 2x8s at a small room as you possibly can. It's like
with their hardware.
Yeah, it's a beefy room because we've looked at doing it before, and I was like, oh, after we buy all the materials for this, we could do this cheaper by just buying a steel guaranteed.
Crane one in and bolt it down.
Yeah. So we've worked quite a few times with a company called Family Safe. They're not sponsors of the podcast. They haven't sponsored anything with us before. We've paid full price for everything that we've done with them. But they have a Category 5 tornado guarantee, bolts down to regular strength concrete. It's a steel room, basically, that you can plumb power into.
I thought you...
Mine's not. Mine's concrete.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I was getting there. And so then the one at my house is concrete. Poured in place, board form concrete in the shape of an oversized, like 6 foot by 6 foot closet in our mudroom that is just main level.
So how did you decide the dimensions and where to locate
what was available. It's the space that was enough.
Sometimes it's picking the right space. We did one end up in northwestern Texas where we used the pantry as the storm shelter. So everything was wood framed. That was framed in ICF and has a concrete lid.
So I was going to ask you, on your home, what's the lid?
Concrete. It's got an 18-inch concrete lid on it. So it's 8-inch concrete walls.
So in the story above that, right above that space, that's the same floor level.
It is.
That you just made.
Yeah. So that elevation of my house, that floor is like 9'8" or something from floor to ceiling. Mm-hmm. Inside the storm shelter is 18 inches less than 9'8".
Okay. And
so then the wood frame floor assembly flies over top of our concrete box. It doesn't disrupt. It happened all inside that space.
Got it.
So no extra special framing or anything like that.
And then how did you detail for thermal insulation on the one exterior wall?
It's actually two, because one's garage wall and one's exterior wall.
So yours is located at the corner of the garage?
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, so one faces to the south at the garage and one faces one side to the east to the
So the easy one was the garage, right?
Yeah. We still treated them exactly the same. Like on the off chance people leave garage doors open for a day or something like that in the winter, like we don't want it to be a problem.
Good point. Yeah.
And so before we framed or before we put sheathing on, both of those walls got 2x8 filled worth of closed cell spray foam all the way out to the zip bar.
So the concrete wall was inset in?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
all of it just poured right in. And none of it disrupts framing. All of it happens inside the regular
So it's like a little column with a concrete lid stuck inboard.
Did it so that it would disrupt things as little as humanly possible. We framed our 2x8 walls around it after it was up.
And Steve, was this the first time you designed a home with a 6x6?
6x6 probably, yeah. We did some before that. So,
but it's small based on that's the only space on the ground level that doesn't have any windows. So we would have had to like kill a window into the powder bath and then make the powder bath bigger if we wanted that to be the storm shelter. And then put a heavier door on the powder bath. Like there's all these little give and take. Yeah, there are potentially 5 people, 2 dogs, and 3 cats, and up until recently, sometimes a freaking rabbit also in that room.
I remember the rabbit. Like
you're not missing out on anything.
Freely roaming around the upstairs.
Fun story. Next time we go to have a beer, remind me, and I'll tell you a story about Ross Trathui helping me bury a rabbit.
Ross Trathui?
He's one of the nicest people on the planet. I love Ross to death.
That's funny.
He's very kind. But you're in there for us. We're in there for 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
The warning systems are really darn good. Yes, it gets hot quickly. There's no ventilation. It's a concrete room with 5 people in it and a 7-foot tall lid. Yeah, it gets hot quick.
Yeah.
I did screw up and forget to plumb power into the top side of it.
Yeah.
I was planning on plumbing power into the top side.
The one we did the bedroom, there's a detail in that FEMA that has ventilation.
So I'm sorry, you said plumbing wiring.
Yeah. That's the way we talk about it when we're pulling it to wherever or whatever.
Okay, got it.
We didn't plumb power into the top of it, and that means it's dark when you shut the door. So we go in there with flashlights. It's like a total failure on my part, but the rest of the year it's a closet.
Yeah.
It also means that once a year my wife goes and cleans all the crap that's accumulated in it out, and it's back to just being a tiny little couple coats hanging in it and a couple backpacks so that if there's a storm that night, we can throw stuff out of it.
Have you ever had people ask for safe rooms when there was no basement, there was no slab on grade, and it's a house built on stilts or something? I mean, probably not, right?
I don't think so.
Even the houses, the 2 houses we did on stilts, part of it had either a basement or a crawl space.
Yeah.
Part of it, yeah. Steve, is there any design that you have done that reacts to all the ones that we've mentioned, which were flooding, hail, earthquake, hurricane?
The flooding one is a challenge because you can't put that below. You wouldn't want to put that below grade,
right?
Because it would kind of be anti your goal. Not one that does all of them, but it's kind of like a lot of things. Once you solve for one, you pretty much solve for a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've done them for personal property safekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So.
And I was just thinking, a number of the homes that are built on stilts for flood relief, particularly coastal, there's often a core, it's sort of like almost a mechanical chase that connects the house on the posts or columns, so that you have some place to bring everything up and down that you need to.
But if you're in a flood zone, I think the real solution is not a safe room; it's a boat.
So I always, whenever clients ask the very well, can we do this question? You know how that always comes up in design after we've already went to, and I always say we can do whatever you want. It's whether or not you want to spend the money. You always say the hardest part is paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably 2012. I've looked and I can't find the plans for them. I think I only had them on paper. Close to the Missouri River, which is surprisingly close to my house. I had a design review meeting for a project that I don't think it ever went anywhere, but it was a house that was designed to float if the property ever flooded. And it was a bucket basement with another basement poured inside of it. And it had key rails so that it would just raise up inside of its own foundation, and it would give it 8 feet of
raise
flooding.
Up based on buoyancy?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And I was just I don't even know how to price this. And I took it to my concrete guy, the guy we worked with before the guy we have now. And he was just I can price it. Take whatever you think the foundation's going to be and multiply it by 20. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I have no idea what that's going to cost, but I'm going to charge them more than I could ever make on anything else if we're going to do it. Yeah. And I was just well, okay.
We've built a basement inside a basement because the property that we were working on was, I know, it was probably less than 300 feet from a major river.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going down significantly deep. We were putting a basement underneath an existing basement and moving all the mechanicals down to retrieve space.
So this is a renovation?
Yeah.
Holy
smokes. And we were underpinning the foundation while we were doing it. It was easily the most expensive project ever. And we were closed in on, I think it was like $3,300 or $3,400 a square foot for this project. It was
not today dollars either.
And that's not today dollars. Today,
I've never heard of this project.
Yeah. Well, it's one of these that you don't talk about. But it's
what does it mean, a basement within a basement?
So because we were worried about it, we underpinned the foundation and we built a foundation wall. But then there was the question was, well, what if that leaked?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, we could do everything that we can do. And then we had like a whole series of tunnels. And this is downtown Boston that we're doing this in. And so you like went down the side of the building into a series of tunnels that were dug by the contractors. And so we built the wall, but we built it like a double hull boat. So we had the wall, and then we had some waterproofing, and then we had the interior.
And they're
wall.
Both concrete walls?
Yes. The inside one, it was finished with brick on the inside, so you could look at a nice in the sub.
So it literally was a doubled system.
Yes. And we had like an alarm system in. So if water came in and those sump pumps got triggered,
mm-hmm.
then we would know that water breached the outside wall to the inside wall.
Wow.
It was, and they did this all in, I think it was like 6 months while the client was away at their other house.
Have you ever done a panic room?
We did one. This was for another wealthy, the one that was like to put all their papers. It was a room that they had fear of, like if somebody came into the house, where would we run? And we have done those rooms too. Yeah. And some of them, it's kind of that catch-all, right? People say, oh, I want a storm shelter. And then the husband's like, well, I travel a lot. And it'd be a place where my wife could grab the kids, go lock herself in
mm-hmm.
until she was safe.
In some ways, a panic room and a safe room, double duty.
Yeah. How about just a really tough room to get in?
Secure room.
Very secure room.
Yeah.
But I had the whole fire and stuff. I mean, what you're doing is you're building a safe that you can either go in, sleep in, or whatever.
Right. Interesting.
I had a client that we just double laminated Advantech on the outside of a closet just for them to have a little bit more secure of a space for keeping some things. And I will never forget one of my project managers saying, so is this like supposed to be a panic room? And Raymond was the guy's name. Ray said, have you met my wife? Every room in this house is a panic room. And she heard him say it from the other room.
And she panicked.
And she didn't call him out on it. It was like 10 minutes later, we heard them arguing. And I stopped walking up the stairs and just paused for a second because I was like, are they talking to us? And then I realized they were arguing. And I was like, oh, she doesn't think that joke was funny.
Or as funny as we thought it was.
Yikes. Okay, so I think we've got some good resources.
Well, we talked a bunch about a lot of the rooms, but I would like to hear both of your thoughts on kind of extreme climate. Like I confessed my thinking.
I don't think there's any doubt that our activities have had a profound impact on the way the Earth works. I don't even think that's debatable. Now, to what extent is an issue, and I get terrified every time I hear something about, an iceberg the size of Rhode Island dropping off of Antarctica, it's difficult.
Just recently, they said there was more ice in one of the polar regions than we've experienced in years. So I'm not.
Peter's making a smirk for those of you just...
Was I?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
He's poo-pooing me.
No,
he was listening politely with a smirk.
That's the title of a book. Listening politely with a smirk.
But this is my point. For every person you can find that says it's detrimental, you could probably find somebody to argue it's not a problem. it's a natural course of action that it's going through.
So I'm with you. I think you would be hard pressed to make an argument that we're not making some level of impact.
Yeah, I
don't know what it is.
I agree with.
And I also think that when we were talking about, I don't know if you were there, but when we were talking about it the other day, you and I, Steve, like, why wouldn't we still try to build a really good house?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we still try to not have an impact on the environment? Why wouldn't we still try to not contribute to the problem? All those things make sense. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at what I do as a response to something. I look at it as a proactive event to solving a problem, right? And if it is a response to something, which it can be, so be it. That's certainly a plus.
The other side of this for me is we could be wrong, but I would like to assume the worst, and in this case, maybe overreact rather than. I think the consequences of underreaction are greater and more probable than the consequences of overreacting. That's my underlying sort of understanding.
I would agree to that to a point.
Yeah.
Because kind of the question to that statement is, what's the tipping point?
Well, so this is where it gets really hard, right? Because
like, how much money do you throw at being proactive to that situation?
Right.
To try and solve for it, right? Would you give half your salary to that endeavor? Would you give 3/4?
I already give away half my.
Well, and then the other problem becomes the geopolitical conversations where is it detrimental for entire nations to try to do the right thing when there are other countries burning,
it's hard for us to do a slabless slab, and then at night I'm watching an engineering program where China's building a concrete dam that's 30 miles long or something that has more concrete than we used in America in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's
tough.
It's a tough pill to swallow.
It's part of the problem with not being a global community too.
I agree with you that I'm going to sit in my little corner. I'm going to make the best choices I can in the hope that everybody else is doing that.
That we can agree on. That all things aside, the way I like to structure my understanding of myself is I'm doing the best job I can given the circumstances I'm presented with.
I would say you are doing the best you can. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, you set the expectation so low for me. All I got to do is wake up and smile for Jake.
I was agreeing.
He's doing his job.
At least I didn't say bless his little heart.
Yeah, that would have hurt. That would have hurt. Okay, Steve, take us home, please.
Yeah. No. This one's really good because I'm really excited. So in the 80s, the muscle guys, Stallone and all these guys, right? They're making a new movie. It's about classical music. Yes. Sylvester Stallone is Beethoven. Van Damme is Mozart.
Okay.
And Arnold, he'll be Bach.
I put that one together.
Did you really?
From Beethoven.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was why I leaned back and started laughing.
That's pretty good, Jake. I'll be back. I'm back.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You like that one?
That's like top tier for me.
Okay.
For you, Jake.
Good. Well, I think I'm not going to yell extreme events. I'm going to be low key. We got it out of our system.
That's that.
All
Okay. Questions.
we have left is
questions at Unbuild It Podcast. If you have questions that you'd like to send in, Peter does a pretty darn good job of answering those via email, and then we bring them to the table here and have that conversation. And until next time, have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.